So, this is part of another thought that I had tied into this morning's urge to share authentic truth. Um, I wrote down this thought, it's time to learn to love our negative qualities, okay? See, I guess that's part of it in a way. I feel like we're kind of through the looking glass of this point of, we need to take off the kid gloves. We need to stop worrying about what people's reactions are to our truth because that lets us not express it. Um, People should be mad about some of the stuff in the world right now, and none of us, like, you'll see even me, like, I'll make these videos, and in most of my videos, I just sound pretty pleasant and happy through most of it, but there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the world, and if we're not able to get mad about it, we're still going to be stuck in that realm of apathy. It's like some people are like that. They're on that level. It feels good to have something to rally against, right? To be upset about, So some people, that's the emotion that keeps them comfortable. Ooh, there's a good one. See, just in general, this urge for us to always stay comfortable. Um, that is where we fail. That is where we're very manipulatable. It's like everybody, they're like, that truth is really upsetting, but I'm only going to chase it as far as my comfort allows me to go. It's like that's where I cut it off, those motherfuckers, and I'm mad in my living room for 5 minutes, and then it's out of the headlines and we forget all about it. But our world, our world is like in a place where it's time that we can freaking wake up, and instead we both we pop up our heads for a minute. We're all uppity and up in arms, ready to change the world. And then, oh, it's out of the headlines. And I'm comfortable. I made it through another day of work. I'm sitting in my living room. I got my creature comforts. It's all okay, you know? And I mean, there's a lot to that statement right there because it's like you, to be able to help other people, you need to be able to help yourself too. But part of what's getting to me lately is it's like that cuts us off. That they're like, oh, you're going to start thinking for yourselves, be critical thinkers again, and take your personal power back. We'll cut off your food and water, You're going to, acknowledge that there's enough abundance of the world for all of us to have. Go ahead and prove it. You aren't going to have any, is how they treat it because these people at the top, that they don't even do all the producing of all this stuff. They hold the purse strings on all this stuff and they decide what we're worth. You heard me talk about that a little bit a couple videos back. But what about us knowing our own self worth? I think that's what's changing, and that's why we need to have a voice that gets mad sometimes, isn't afraid to show when we feel sad or down, We all feel that way sometimes. So why should we go around, like the way you greet people in the morning when you pass by them? How you doing? Good. That doesn't mean you're really good, and we all know that. You just, in the moment you're like, well, I didn't want to cause discomfort to his world, so I said good. But we need to start with being able to add and handle little bits of discomfort in our world. Like, hey, I'm not so good today. I was actually having a rough time. Tell your truth, just, we could start out small with this kind of stuff. Like on our personal lives, we start out small with this kind of stuff and tell your personal truth to a person that isn't going to like automatically reject you for not being completely positive all the time. You know what I mean? Because to become completely positive all the time means to accept that sometimes we're negative. Okay, it's so funny. I was thinking about this earlier. It's like some days you feel like you can be really objective about your emotions and your experiences. You're up here watching your interaction with somebody else, seeing where you both get triggered. I'm going, okay, so there's things there that I can still work on in myself that, still cause me to overreact, right? But where was I going with that? It's like okay, so some days you feel very subjective. You feel like your emotions are you. You know what I mean? And you're down in the moment. So how do you handle those kind of moments and still be in a more 5D kind of mindset, right? How do we experience this new? It's funny. I don't think we could ever completely be in a solid 5D mindset. That's kind of that's what I was talking about in my last video. It's been a progression for me, and it's like first you're all positive, love and light, and you get as far as you can with that, and you realize this isn't my wholeness. I've got to go further to regain my totality. So then kind of swing back the other way a little bit. This is what I went through, anyways. Really chill and lax with my life. Trying to embrace just my humanness, my my solidness, my ego self, I guess. No longer feeling shame about your natural urges and feelings, I guess, right? Um, Identifying with your body more deeply so that you can gain the wisdom that the body has to offer that's not, it's cut off from the brain. It's a long story. But, anyways, cut off because we think it is, not because it really is. We just have to put our awareness in our bodies more. Um, where was I going with that? Yeah, I get distracted pretty easily. I'm tired a lot. I feel like sleep hasn't been right. Constant constant dramas to process lately, helping us regain our wholeness in a way, but it's exhausting, okay? And that, be honest about that too. While we're just like airing our stuff and being who we are, um, I have some pretty interesting experiences in my life, you know, experiencing increasing amounts of telepathy with friends, um, sending distance healing and getting images and information. It's something else. And sometimes I like to smoke a little weed, right? Um, and it's funny because I will say that for damn sure about that is it's like sometimes it makes you more sensitive to a spiritual experience that you're having, and sometimes you take it too far. If you indulge too far, it's dampening your sensitivity to spiritual experiences, to like energies at large. Feeling a lot of awakening and vibration the last couple of years, just feeling waves of energy go through your body and stuff like that. um, I put it to the test. It happens whether or not you get high. It happens anyways. And sometimes, like, you're not sensitive or aware of it. You smoke a little and you feel that energy going through you. You can feel your internal energy, feel tingling in your body in different spots. Sometimes you indulge too much and you're like, man, I feel not very sensitive to my subtle energies at all right now. I need to stop that. Um, feel like that doesn't change your spirituality. You know what I mean? That doesn't make doesn't invalidate your spiritual truths. It doesn't cut you off from telepathy. It doesn't do anything like that. You know, it's up to us to be self-responsible and acknowledge how we feel about certain things. Some people feel the same amount of sensitivities without ever touching it, and that's probably not the best thing for them to do, because like then partaking makes them overly sensitive, gives people anxiety sometimes, right? um Anyways, that wasn't the point. The point is sometimes I'm all over the place, and that's why. But that doesn't negate the spiritual truths that come through this vessel. um I said, still making these videos makes me nervous sometimes, so I lost my train of thought, and I'm gonna keep sharing authenticity. All right, folks.